Hello and welcome to Control Alt Wow April PVD. Today is Tuesday, July 28th, 2026, and this is episode 873 entitled I Am Loving PalWorld. This game is everything I've wanted for a long time. I feel like I'm back in World of Warcraft. I know I've said that before, but it is so good. There's a nice, robust quest line, there's exploring, and I'm just at the beginning. The best part is that I can do my Control Alt Wow fever, which is, altaholic, because I can play with multiple tunes on my dedicated server. It works out so well. I can build something, they can come in and use my things. I have my main character, which is AprilPvd, and then I have Aprillian, April, and Sebastian at different levels, and I am loving this game. The mechanics are wonderful, the quest line is robust, and the graphics are beautiful. So enjoy this week's tale of my game playing in PalWorld, and I am so sorry if you are a No Man's Sky person, and I haven't even cracked it open. I haven't booted it up at all. So enjoy. And if you want to join me, you can write me at controlaltwow@gmail.com. I am going to have let a few people come and join my dedicated server. It should be fun. Thanks, and thanks for listening. I have been talking about PalWorld for the last couple of weeks, but I really want to get into the nitty gritty of what it is. I kind of been skipping around different things, but I want to be more precise. First of all, I am playing on a dedicated server, which is something that comes with PalWorld itself on the PC, which I thought was great. It took me some time to learn how to set it up. I'll put a link in the show notes at controlaltwow.com. When I log in to PalWorld, I have to start out in the flat screen. I'm using virtual desktop. And then I click on the UEVR injector, and you have to set it up as administrator. And then once I hit inject, it will hesitate for a second, and then it puts me right into VR. And today, I want to start with the character creation screen. It's very good. There are many options and you can personalize it. I am starting out on a new character on my Sebastian PVD Steam account. Now, because I have the family plan, I can use all my different accounts to play PalWorld. I have such a hard time with that. PalWorld. But in order to be able to invite different characters to the guild, I had to create I had to buy another account. So you start out on this beach with these pals staring up at you. The graphics are so beautiful. And even in the flat screen, it's easy to see around and know where you are and what you're doing. And that's what I really like about it. I think I've talked about how I had to stop playing World of Warcraft because I just couldn't figure out where I was and where I needed to go. Now, once you materialize, this was a tip that a YouTuber told me, is that you turn around from the place you are spawned in and go down the stairs, and to the left there's a couple of things. One thing is a chest that gives you a couple of gives you three things, help start off your journey. You want to always look for chests. I think someone said they do respawn. And then there's a point where another traveler has left you a message, and you can go into your inventory and then choose journal, and you'll see the messages from the other travelers. So once you are in it, now my thing, the first thing you do is you go and find the flight point, and then you interact with the NPC that starts off the whole game. And every character has to go through this. Now, I have 4 characters. This is my 4th character that I have on this dedicated server. These characters only exist on this dedicated server. If I am not running this server and I log into one of these characters, log into PalWorld on the Steam account of, say, PvD, he will not have access to this particular character. But he will have access to being able to start a character and have his own game. It's really confusing because I didn't understand it. It's not like, like when you log into a different shard on World of Warcraft. There are servers that you can log into, and I think next week or sometime this week I may try joining a server and seeing how that works out. Now, when you start the game, there's a whole bunch of quests that are, breadcrumb quests to get you to understand what is going on in the game. And you have to do them to get to the point where you want to do other things. So one of the things is you have to gather sticks and stones to build a workbench. And to build the workbench, you have to you build the workbench so that you can build an axe and a pickaxe, among other things. Now, this is a dedicated server, and on this server is also my other character, and she already has a base. And what I did the first time, I mentioned this when she had built this base, and I had another character join us. I had gotten to the point in the quest line where she could no longer go any further because one of the steps you have to do after you build your pickaxe and your axe and collect stuff and make a workbench and make your spheres, the round things that you throw, your Pokemon balls, basically. The other thing you have to do is build a PalWorld box. And when I did it the first time with Aprillian, she couldn't go past her, the line in her quest line because she was in a guild, and when you're in the guild, everything in that box belongs to everybody in the guild. And I had not gotten the base up to the point where they could have more than one Pal box. The PAL box is kind of like your base information box, and it's where you assign your pals. Now, it's like Pokemon. So not only do you get to do quests and you get to have pets, just like in World of Warcraft, but you also get to train the pets or get the pets to do things, and different pets have different specials. So I decided that instead of having Sebastian run around and get stuff and make stuff, that I would give him things. Now, because he's not in the guild, he wasn't able to go into any of the chest that I have on my base. But I found out that I can drop things and then he can pick them up. So I went into my inventory and I got some of my spheres and an axe and a pickaxe. The thing is, you can punch stuff to before you get your axe and your pickaxe, but you get less stuff, and I think you lose some stamina. It's just easier if you have them. So I dropped the pickaxe, the spear, the pow balls, and the axe. And when I moved out of the way for Sebastian to pick it up, only the spheres were there because I was on my base. And what was happening was that my helpers were running around picking up stuff and putting them away. The pals that I have on the base. it's it's so neat and it's cute, but that was frustrating. So I had to run outside the base area and then bring my other character. Now I'm running Sebastian on NVR and I'm running AprilPvd on the flat screen. And I managed to drop those items so that he could have them. Now, I ended up, well, I was planning to do was wait until he got the PalWorld box and created it so he could go past that step in the quest line. But I later remembered that AprilPvd had gotten her base up to the level that now allows me to make a second base. So I don't necessarily have to do that, but I was able to give him the axe and the pickaxe. And it was my intention that he was going to go and chop stuff up. Now, I have a whole bunch of stuff in the chest on my base because I've been playing for, a week or so. And my helpers have been working at it very fast and stocking up my stuff. So I had logged AprilPvd off, and then I realized that, I don't have to do this wait thing. I have the ability to make another base that he could use. He could do, I don't know what I'm going to do. I may have him make another base and somewhere else with other resources, or I may just have him put out his PAL box and then just destroy it after he passes that quest line. So a lot of things happen when you're leveling, and each step that you get in the quest line, of course, gives you XP. But also, as you get XP, you also get technology points, which allows you to unlock blueprints as you go along, and you get enhancement points that allow you to increase your settings, your statistics such as your health and your stamina and how much stuff you can carry. So I ended up having Sebastian one of the things he had to do was he did have to make his own workbench. But then I said, this is the point where I realized that I could indeed just have him make the second base after I invited him to the guild. So I brought AprilPvd back in, and she is going to invite him to the guild, and at the same time he just destroyed the workbench that he made, which was part of the quest line, so that was okay. So both of these computers that I'm using for gaming is really fast. And, I realized I could actually probably use my gaming laptop in VR with for PalWorld. Now I couldn't do it with No Man's Sky because No Man's Sky was so intensive. But I did play Zenith on this laptop, and so I'm pretty sure I could do this. So now I brought in Sebastian, and the way it works, and it took me a second to figure this out, is that I brought in AprilPvd, and Sebastian goes over to AprilPvd and applies to join the guild. And then on AprilPvD screen, it's accept or deny. And I accepted. And then I had to remember to go into the guild part and promote Sebastian PvD to submaster. There's guild master, then there's submaster, then there's member, and then I think there's guest. So now Sebastian has access to the base, and he went to check to make sure that he could build a second base, and AprilPvD did get the base at that level. Now, a bunch of things are going to make it easier for Sebastian. He now has access to all the stuff in the chest, so he can just go ahead and build without having to go out and farm stuff. The only thing he has to do, and for the quest line, he still had to make an axe, and he had to make a pickaxe. The only thing he will have to do is to use his technology points to open up the blueprints that he needs to use. Now, one of the blueprints, and that comes in handy because at night it gets cold, was for a set of clothing. When they log in, they're basically in beach wear or swimwear. But I remembered that AprilPvD had upgraded her clothing set. And so on his way to pull the set out of one of the chests, he encountered a merchant. Now, this merchant I had seen before on the base, and AprilPvD had interacted with him to buy stuff. But again, with the YouTube channels, somebody said that you can capture the merchant and make him work on your base along with the pals. And I was like flabbergasted because I had one on my base and I didn't do this thing. So I decided, since Sebastian sees him, I might as well go ahead and do it. But I also seem to have initiated an attack, and Sebastian died. But I learned something that day from that attack, and I felt stupid. Well, I'm gonna be stupid anyway. There's so many things to learn. And I always thought that if you died, you could not use the spawn point that was closest to where your body was. I thought you had to go to another point. Because on the map there's an X, a red X, but the red X is actually your body. Your dead, your not your body. The red X is your inventory that has been dropped, and there's a big blue line from the top. So I was able to respawn at the base, get my stuff, and then I looked in my PAL box, moved some PALs around, and put the merchant into my as a worker on my base. So that was an interesting thing. And after that, Sebastian went to the box, got his clothes, and he was able to go through and do some more of the opening quest line. And it was really a lot of fun. I'm glad I tried this. I love the fact that I can have a dedicated server, and I love the fact that you can have alts, and that this game has so many layers to it. I hope this made sense. I've been watching YouTube videos about PalWorld, and I have to admit I'm a little bit overwhelmed because it seems like it can get really complicated about getting the right pals and setting up your base right. But I had a blast in PalWorld today, and I learned a lot from those videos that I was watching. I'm starting to feel comfortable. I'm getting very comfortable with getting into the VR version because first you have to run the game, and then you have to run the injector, and then you're in VR. But I think I have the steps down pat. Today I played with AprilPvd. She is my most advanced character, and I believe when I started today she was at level 10. So what I decided to do was do things that would advance her base, because my plan is to upgrade enough to get a second base so that one of my other characters could place a base somewhere for their first base. So the first thing I did was I wanted to go out and capture multiple pets. One of the things I learned on YouTube was that if you get 5 of each pet, um, you get a bonus, some kind of some kind of a token that you can go back and put it into one of the statues that we were told to create on the base in the tutorial, and the statue would enhance my stats. My idea now is I do have to go back to that boss that kicked my butt the last time I played. I went up against her. So I want to get my character to be a little bit stronger so that I could, I don't I don't die so easily. So that statue, once you have the tokens from capturing 5 of a particular kind of pet, then you can upgrade your capture speed and your movement, which is going to help. It's really neat the way they do the tutorial. So I needed some more of those lamb thingies, which are these little fluffy ball things that you can have as a pet. But if you kill them, you also get wool, and you get meat that you can make lamb kebabs. So I went ahead and did those, and I got the effigy, and so I went ahead to turn that into the statue. And then I went for another type, but I've been having some problems. I'm still getting used to the controls. The controls in VR, are a little bit different than, of course, using the flat screen, using the keyboard on the flat screen. And one of the things that you need to do a lot is move what would be the arrow up, down, left, right on like your Xbox controller. Well, for the controllers in VR, it's putting your thumb to the left of your buttons on your right controller and moving the joystick on your left controller to make that happen. So, I'm getting used to all of this, but I keep activating the wrong thing by accident. I'm sure the more I play, the more my muscle memory will help me get used to the controllers. It is very intuitive, and it's nice to be able to do everything in VR while I'm standing up instead of having to go for the keyboard. So I went looking for more pets, and I had a pet out that was level 7, and what was happening was when I would target something to try to capture it, I had to be careful because it would sometimes kill the animal that I was targeting. So, like I said, I was able to use the statue to increase my capture power and to increase my movement speed, which was kind of cool. A lot of this is overwhelming, but I'm learning how to use all the information and figure stuff out. It's really a fun game. If you haven't tried it, I would suggest you try it, especially since it's on sale right now. So I made this, like I said, I made the statue because of the quest line. And in the beginning, while you're learning about building, your base tells you to make these things. And I have been figuring out stuff like about my food and about storing stuff in my chest. So far, the things that I have put on the base, which is also part of the quest line with the base, has been made so that I don't have to feed my pals or provide food. In the beginning, I was spending a lot of time doing that. I also managed to get a couple of pets that will plant the seeds and, water the berries and harvest the berries, and that comes in really handy. A lot of what I'm doing kind of reminds me of World of Warcraft because I am doing a lot of questing and um, figuring stuff out and a lot of, gathering resources. And and trying to level. So it's really what I really wanted in a video game. I am having some problems with using my bow and arrow, and I think I almost got that figured out. But when it works, it's really nice. And I know that there's going to be other weapons that I can use, and I have to figure out how to use them because I need to go back into that dungeon and defeat that boss. I've gotten better with the bow and arrow, but I'm not good at throwing the pet balls. Sometimes I miss, and it's very frustrating because you have to make them. You have to go and mine that paladin thing and or I don't know which paladin stuff, and then you have to go to the workbench and create the balls. So it takes time, and it's very frustrating when I accidentally uh, throw the ball instead of doing what I really mean to do, or when I am trying to capture a pet and my pet kills the pet. I like a lot of the features in the game. The climbing and the jumping and the gliding is really good. It's very intuitive. And the game is beautiful and immersive. Now, while I'm looking at it in third person, I'm in the same area as my avatar and I'm immersed in it. I never thought I would enjoy playing in third person, but I really like it. The interface is really good. And I'm learning to figure out a few things that I didn't know. Like, I finally figured out about when you're supposed to go to sleep or about the daylight time. There's an icon in the lower left-hand corner that goes through a little circle, and it tells you when the daylight is about to end and when the nighttime is coming on. Now, this is valid for a couple of reasons. One is I'm pretty sure it's good for me to get my rest, and I'm fully healed and ready to go. But it also is good for catching certain creatures that only come out at night. In the beginning, I was figuring out the night schedule by seeing the animals around me sleeping. And I don't know if I could attack animals while they're sleeping, but that just seems so wrong. So what I started doing, what I did my first night is when I saw the animals sleeping, I just went ahead and went to bed myself. At first, I was going to go find those late night things, but I figured I would go back and sleep. And when I went back, it was funny because some of my pets weren't sleeping where they should be sleeping. And I have all this equipment around my base that I can use to make things. And as my base gets bigger and I figure it out, I know that I will be able to get certain pets that will work the equipment themselves. I made my base so that my first floor is all pet beds, and then my bed is upstairs. And as I make more things, I'm going to decorate that place. And I really like the way you go to sleep and you wake up, there's like a rooster crowing and all the other pets are up. Then I decided I wanted this tropical outfit that I had opened up in the technology tab. And I wanted it because it would differentiate me from my other characters. I mean, they are different looking. They have different hairstyles. I think Aprillian is bald like I am in real life. And but I just wanted this different outfit. And in order to get it, I needed these fire organs that can only be dropped by the Firefox. So I went out to get I took a fast travel to another area where you could get the Firefox. And I actually managed to capture a couple of them because one of them they can be used as weapons, but one of them also does mining on my base. So I had one, but I transferred it to the base to do the mining, actually I think it does the ore thing, so it does the smelting. And plus I wanted to capture a couple of more anyways because I wanted to get that bonus, and I wanted to get the fire organ. So I went out, but and I'm very proud of myself because I'm learning about how to do these things. I actually not only got the extra Firefox, I got 2 extra ones as pets. And I also got this boar because I saw on the YouTube video that it will, you can ride it. So I got the boar and it was really cool. Not only that, but it also mines while it's with me. It goes around and collects mining on my property. And I managed to use the bow and arrow and get the the Firefox and the boar, and I brought it back and I was able to make the outfit. But the minute I put the outfit on, I was instantly cold. So that's what it means by being tropical outfit. It's thinner than the regular outfit. So I switched back. Then I decided to go and capture some more of these daydrum things because it got dark, and I'm like, okay, that's a good time to capture these guys. They're really good on your base, but one of the YouTube videos said that the really neat thing about them is they will attack whatever pet that you're trying to fight, but they will only hit it until it has 1 point left. They won't kill it. And so that's really handy to have. It's really frustrating when you're trying to capture something and your pet kills it. So I went out to try to capture it, and of course, I'm continuing to hit the wrong button. I have to remember to move my thumb over to the side. And at one point, I was seeing this really bad darkness. They throw this ball at you of pink light, pink and black light that I guess puts you to sleep. So I got a couple of them, and I was really happy with that. And this game is just so beautiful, and I'm just really enjoying all the intricacies of it. I did a few other things around the base. I made some other things that you needed to make. One of them was to make health potions, and I managed to level my base up. I put another bed for pets on the first floor, and I created nails, and I learned how to make ingots. Well, actually, I would put the ore in the machine that makes the ingot, and the Firefox, I think, was the one that would actually go and smelt the ingots. So I'm learning a lot. This game is so much fun. And I created a new bow. I'll let you know tomorrow whether or not the bow works better for me. And I also made some furniture for my upstairs building, my second floor of the home that I have. I'm probably gonna make a new base, but right now this base is really nice and I really like it. And I'm having so much fun with this game. One thing I do adore is that when you start building something, the pets come in and help you, and you can either walk away and come back, or you can join in, and you'll find that it makes it go faster. The mechanics of this game is beautiful, and I'm having a really good time. Thursday, after watching some videos, I realized that I needed to practice playing with my pets on my team. And maybe I could take out that boss in that first tower with the right group. So I got on AprilPvd and I acquired some more of the dream pet things. And I went to fight and got spanked. But I do have to say, at least I lasted a little bit longer this time than I did the last time. It's a pretty big, fast-paced fight, and again, I had the problem with pressing the wrong button and bringing up the build menu. And I also have to learn how to bring out that pet that's supposed to heal. I know the dream pets come out automatically, so I just have to figure that out. And after I got knocked out by the boss in the tower, I went to get my inventory, which fortunately you can pick up right outside the tower. But there was some other battle going on, and I thought, oh, let me try this one, and I got killed again. Fortunately, it's not like No Man's Sky where if you die more than once, then you lose your previous inventory. I think the main inventory just stays there. And while I was running to get my inventory, I didn't even pick up a lot of stuff. But it was interesting, and I learned a lot. I did have a couple of pets die, and that was kind of sad for me. But I figured out after reading when I got out of the game that I did the right thing. I actually went to the PAL box on my base and loaded those dead pals into the box, which should heal them. But there's a lot to learn, and it's really fun, and I'm just loving PalWorld. On Friday, I made the video that I put at the beginning of the episode because I wanted to show you what it was like when you started one. But then I decided to put Sebastian away. He's a member of the guild. He has access to all the things the guild has. And I wanted to get on AprilPvd because I'm going to try to get this battle done with this boss, Zoe and Grisbold. I thought I could do better because I figured out that I needed to have the Telefont to give me heals. And I also have the fox that I was going to pull out to do the fox thingy that it does. But I had brought in the spear, which I thought would do a lot of damage. And of course, I keep pressing the wrong button. I really have to get that muscle memory in. Well, it didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to, but I did do a little bit better. I did some damage before I died, so that was a little bit heartening. And because I now know about the spawn point and how I can come right back there to get my stuff, and I don't have to go to one that's not nearby, I felt a little bit better about that. So I'm gonna try again later. Actually, what I thought I would do is get Aprillian up and get her to have her four these sleepy guys, and maybe the two of us and the 8 of them could actually take them out. Actually, though, it would only be one because if I come in on my flat screen, I'm not going to be able to do much. But I was able to go back and spawn right next to the building, to the tower, and that meant I could get my stuff back a lot faster. But I also realized something else that I didn't know. The syndicate that's up on the hill behind the wall there, they're only level 5. So I was able to fight them and get another pet. So I'm learning about all the little things that I can do. At one point, though, they did take me out, but that was mainly because I was using that steel spear. I think once I get better weapons, particularly a gun, I'm going to be a lot better in these fights. Of course, Saturday meant workout in the morning, and I had the best workout. My weight training was great. My boxing was perfect and felt really good. And running on the elliptical, I actually finished one of the quest lines on the elliptical on the app. It's HoloFit. They have a few things that you need to do and different maps you need to run through, and I was able to finish the objectives and get and it's crazy. All I got, well, not all I got. Well, what I got was some cosmetic stuff. So I got a new suit that was reflective of being a safari. It was based on Jurassic Park type things. And then I got a dinosaur mask, hat, and some shoes. And just really well the way they get you to stay in the game longer, stay on the elliptical longer than I normally would to complete these missions. And that was really a lot of fun. During my elliptical journey, I do like a 35-minute run, but I do stop every 10 minutes to take a water break, and it's really fascinating to see what I see when I step off and look around. And right now I'm looking at this magnificent T-Rex that's just so gorgeous, and I just love the way they really immerse you into this atmosphere. And it was the fourth Saturday, so I went into Zenith where we did what we call Cosmetic Craze. It's something organized by the United Zenithian Alliance, where we do the NeoWare events and the Sunshine events that will lead you to get tokens so you can get cosmetic gear. Here you can see one of my characters who just got the gloves from doing the events today, but she's wearing the NeoWare cosmetic set. She's got the gloves and the pants and the jacket and the sneakers, which you can't see in this video. And she's got the mouthpiece. That's really nice. Oh, yeah, you can see her sneakers. Other people here have the same ones. And this is all from the group. And we get together at the end and take a picture. And it was a lot of fun. Saturday afternoon, I went back to PW, as I call it, or PalWorld, because I can never say it right. And I played on my Aprillian character because she was level 8 at the start of Saturday, and I think she got up to level 9, and she just went around doing quests. She also picked up a few things that I needed in the base. She went to get some wheat seeds and stuff. But the most important thing that she did was she learned how to use the bow. Believe it or not, I had the hardest time, and some of it is just learning about the controls, and some of it is muscle memory. But as I took her out and she had a bow, I kind of got to understand the whole system and how the arrows work. And now I'm very well at using the bow, and it's such a good game. It's just so much to do, and there were so many quests. She took a quest in the new settlement that said to go and find this one animal and bring it to this guy, and she got a bunch of points for that. And she also went out and captured some pals. That's another way to make to get XP. Now my understanding for her was to get her up to at least 10. And what I was thinking I was going to do was take her into this tower with AprilPvd. And when you're in there, your pets do a lot of fighting with you. Now, AprilPvd has gone in there 4 times, and each time she's died. The first couple of times I was panicking, because, I'm dying. But it turns out that you just come back and get your stuff from outside the tower. So because she spent so much time using her bow, I got to learn how to use the bow. And I had a lot of fun playing, just exploring and capturing different pals. So by the time I logged in on Sunday, I had enough confidence with the bow to try on AprilPvd, and I did it. I took AprilPvd into the tower with she had a crossbow. So Aprillian had taught her or taught me how to use the bow and how the reloading mechanism worked. But AprilPvd was able to use the crossbow and a healing pet, and she went in and did the battle and won the tower. It was so incredible. The fighting, the thing that I learned the most too, and this was from a little bit of a YouTube channel and from my own experience, was that I needed to move out of the way when the boss was getting ready to do his moves. I didn't understand so much of what was going on before, and a lot of my old dungeon boss fights instincts came back, and I just feel really good that I finally took that first tower down, my first boss fight in PalWorld. And I also learned a few things about how I want to play the game. I was getting a little stressed out from watching the videos and watching all the things you can do. There's so much to this game. And it's a lot like World of Warcraft with Pokemon in it, with a little bit of, I want to say No Man's Sky because of the way that you can train your pets and breed them and stuff. And I'm really excited about that part of it. And I'm not going to worry or stress out so much about whether or not I'm doing it the right way or the most efficient way. I do want to build another base or a better base because my current base is just horrible. But everything I'm doing in the base and making the base work is also leveling my skills and allowing me to get better and get more access to more technology. So I really love this game, and I had a blast playing on Sunday. And I beat that boss. And I'm so happy about that. I learned so much about allocating powers to do specific things. The best one was getting fiber from the crusher. Everything takes fiber. And what I was doing was running around chopping down trees to get fiber. But I made a lot of new stuff, like a shield and another campfire that lets me combine food that makes even better food that increases the sanity portion of the food. And I'm having so much fun. And AprilPvd got to 17. Now on Monday, oh my goodness, as I level, I get to do more things with my technology points. And I opened up the defensive wall and gate. So, two times during the day while I was just doing different things at my base, a negotiator showed up and they said, "Oh, it looks like a raid is imminent, but for 1,000 gold, I can stop it." And twice I gave them the 1,000 gold. But when I saw the actual defense walls pop up on my technology, I said, "Oh, well, let me see what happens if I just block off my base." Now, keep in mind that my base is situated in a really stupid place. It's got rocks on one side and part of it drops down to a cliff. I didn't really think when I made the base. And I didn't understand about the whole thing about the PAL box being the center of the base until I watched some videos. Now I know. But I decided to build a wall anyway. So I built a wall all around my base. One of the things that my base encompassed was a lot of rocks. So a lot of my pals, and I'm up to 10 pals on my base now, a lot of them were running around and chopping up rocks. So I had plenty of rocks. And I built the base, I built the walls all around the base with one gate. And AprilPvd did that because she's more advanced and has more options available for building. But Aprillian was on when the negotiator showed up again, and she declined the protection. So the countdown began. It was like a 4-minute countdown. And then the invaders were shooting at the wall. But they didn't get through, so that was good. When I went out, and it went on for like about 5 minutes each. There were two waves, and there was 5 minutes each wave. And if I'm worried because I'm like, can they blow the bait? Can they blow the walls down? But it was just like a nonstop shooting at one, and there were some cracks where I hadn't totally made the base, had the walls together, and my pals would run over to those cracks, but they weren't getting hurt, and the invaders weren't getting through. And when I went out later, I found stuff that they had left behind. The other thing I did is I made my first fishing pole, and as I had been opening chests, I had gotten bait. So I went out and I did some fishing, and I love the mechanics on that. I love a game that has fishing. I remember when fishing in World of Warcraft, going into oh God, what was that? What was that? Ragefire Chasm? No, that was one underneath Ogrimmar. But there was one out in south of Ogrimmar where you could fish up some special stuff. But anyways, the fishing mechanics are really nice once you figure it out. And I actually got my first pet from fishing, and some other stuff, some meat and stuff. So that was kind of good. Then I made my first corral, and because it turns out that you're gonna need some things that you can only get when an animal drops it, and I think this was something like aquatic, uh, or aquatic water or something. And it came in handy because later on when I was building stuff, I needed a lot of that. But I'm not doing anything the proper way. If anybody was to come in and look at my base or watch me what I'm doing, they would probably say, "What is she doing?" But I'm having fun, and my base is chaotic, but my plan is to build a better one. I did go up a couple of levels for my building. I went up. There's a stair in this. You can build a staircase. Although one YouTuber said to use the the roof pieces. And one of the things I did, which was crazy, and if you looked at the video, you'll see it. I built walls with windows, and I'm looking at all these YouTubers, and none of them are building walls. They're just building floors to walk on. And so, because you are limited by the PAL box width and length, you can't, you're limited, but you can go up several floors. So I started building up, and it was very interesting to try that. I really like it, and I was using the little railings instead of the walls, and it just makes everything feel more open and more comfortable. And so I'm learning how to go vertical. On Tuesday, the first thing I did was I spent an hour and a half setting up my Quest 2 to sell. I have two old Quest 2s, and it was crazy because the one that had the Bobo VR head strap, which is also the one that's in better condition, and I have extra batteries for that head strap because I got a completely different head strap for my Quest 3, so I'm not even using those batteries. So I would like to give my friend those batteries. But the one that was in the better shape had the controllers that had drift. So I had to unpair controllers from both headsets and then repair the good controllers to the good headset. And then after all of that, I had to factory reset it. It's going to be interesting. This person has never done VR before, and she saw me. I showed her some of my workout videos, and she wants to try it, but it'll be interesting. I'm a little bit concerned because, VR isn't as easy as it should be, and there's always something that can go wrong or some complications. In fact, I forgot to even ask her if she has internet. After setting up the Quest and then cleaning out my refrigerator, because one of the things that I try to do with my game playing is to make sure that I'm doing the responsible things before I get into it, because I know, like yesterday, I played for almost 4 hours. I'm not telling you everything I'm doing. There's a lot of questing. There's a lot of just exploring, and one of the main goals of PalWorld is to catch pals. So I'm doing a lot of that. There's some quests that I'm finding from different people in the new settlement. And and I didn't mention yesterday that Aprillian did complete the first tower. She was able to take down the boss. I'm getting better at fighting. I'm still not good at aiming. There is a version of the UEVR injection that's out where you're first person, and maybe I'll try that, and that might give me a better chance of using my bow and arrow. I kind of miss Zenith for that, because Zenith had really good mechanics with the weapons. But so Tuesday, I finally got into playing, and boy, did I have fun. First, I just went around exploring on AprilPvd. She rode her little purple blue antler mount. And for those of you listening on the podcast, I'll put a screenshot in the show notes at controlaltwow.com, which forwards from controlaltwow.blogspot.com. One of the things I was trying to do, I was trying to do two things. I was trying to get more information about the next tower, and I did find the next tower, but I didn't do the boss battle. And I also was looking around trying to find the best place to start my new base. And I did it. And one thing I did was while I was out exploring, I caught another human. Now, I saw a blurb go up when I captured this human. It was someone that was shooting at me when I was out exploring. And I thought it said that it was frowned upon. I mean, it's basically slavery, and I can understand that. But they really do a lot of the things. Well, they seem to be one of the few people that you can really assign to things like logging and stuff. But of course, as I get more pals, I will probably figure out other ways to find other pals that could do the same thing. So what I ended up doing was I decided to go to this beach that I had been to. And I'm like, wow, that would be wonderful to have a base on the beach, and I'll see the water and it'll be nice. So I fooled around with setting up my pal box. It takes a little work because I'm against the rocks, and I'm hoping to be able to use the rocks as a back of my base when I do have to set up the defense walls. I don't know what triggers the invasions, the raids, but I want to be prepared. I know it doesn't happen right away because I had been at my other base for a while before they even started mentioning the raids. So I ended up doing a lot of teleporting back and forth once I did set up the PAL box, and it worked. What is interesting about the game is that there are multiple levels of leveling. Of course, there's leveling your character. There's also leveling your character's different settings and things. Like you can, you get a point every time you level to put into your stats. You can increase the amount of health. You can increase the amount of stamina. I've been working alternating between health and stamina. You can increase the amount of weight you can carry. And of course, you get pets, and the pets that are out with you while you're running around doing stuff, they level. And then there's also leveling your base, and you level your base, and it's kind of like a tutorial, because it's as you move down the technology tree, or the technology stuff that you can make, and you can only go up to certain level until you get to you can only do certain technology things until you get to the right level. So I have gotten my base at the point where I can have 10 pals, and I can have 2 base. And but to go any further, I need to build a couple of things. And one of the things I needed to build was a weapons bench. Another thing I need to build is a pal trainer, and then an expedition pal thingy. So those things are up ahead of my level. I just turned 20 today, and I think the expedition one is like 24, and the other PAL one is at 22. So I can't go any further until I level some more. It's kind of a nice system, but I have one of the things I had to do was make a weapons bench, and I was curious as to what would happen when I went to my new base and I made the weapons bench there. Did I have to make it at my old base? But it turns out that my new base has the ability to have 10 pals. The only thing is you have to have a bed for each pal, or they won't be happy, period. And so you also have to make sure they have food, and you have to have a cooking fire. So I mean, well, you don't have to have a cooking fire. You can put berries in there, but berries don't give them the sanity quotient that other food gives them. So I make sure that they have a fire, and they have the food. There's a basket that feeds them, and that they will even cook if you line up the food, and they will put the food in the basket. So I was doing all this at the second place, and I was trying to build, but I kept running out of resources that I needed that was at the first base. So I'm teleporting back and forth, and one of the things that fortunately happened is there are a lot of rocks at the second base, and my guy that was there, working alone until I added a couple of more pounds, was busy mining the rocks, and I found out that one of the things I could open up in technology was stone building. And they have a really good dynamic, because I was able to upgrade the wooden boards I had put in to stone just by clicking another button, and it just replaced it, put the wood back in my inventory and replaced the stone. So it's a really good system. I had a lot of fun trying new building techniques and opening up my base, and I'm really excited to do some more building and stuff as the in the next coming days. I have not even looked at No Man's Sky, and I feel a little bit guilty, but this game is really fun. It's got quests, it's got grinding, it's got building, it's got pals or pets, and I'm really having fun. I'm experimenting with setting up certain chests. You can set a chest to have certain parameters. So I'm experimenting with that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be absolutely right at it first. I would like to have a chest that was only food and another chest that was only or because of my last base, I just put chests out as I got full in my inventory. And then the problem with that is then I have to run around and figure out where stuff are. But I'm getting the hang of it and I'm really loving it. My dedicated server is working out perfectly. I can switch back and forth between my 4 characters. I got on Sebastian, who's my only guy in the game, a little earlier today, and he is just he dinged level 6, but he's able to go to the base and access the chest and get things that he needs. So it's really fun. If you haven't tried it, I would recommend it. I love the fact that it's flat screen and VR, and they both work well together because I have played with my characters on both at the same time. And yeah, I'm having fun. So um, thanks for listening. You can email me at controlaltwow@gmail.com. You can, if you're listening on the podcast, there's a link in the description for the video version. It's on YouTube, Control Alt Wow on YouTube, so you can actually see what I'm doing. And thanks for listening. The show notes are at controlaltwow@gmail.com, forwarding from controlaltwow.blogspot.com. This is AprilPvd in VR for PalWorld.